Hi and welcome to this multi-part video series called Phone Right. My name is David Anthony. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome, and do consider subscribing because this channel is all about helping you go further and faster in business and in life. So let's get started.
Well, as we said, just 4 standards to go. We'll go through them now and then look at how all of the standards we've learnt can be applied with absolute ease to seemingly difficult calls. But first, the new standards. And by the way, with one exception, these standards apply in both types of selling situations, where you create the order over the phone or where you need to get face-to-face with your caller to help him buy. Performance Standard 7 is, like all of the other standards, a straightforward one. It simply reminds us to confirm the details. Now, what that means is that once you've agreed with your caller on the course of action you're going to take, you simply say something like this.
Well, fine, Mrs. Johnson. Let me just take a note of that in my diary so that we can confirm that. We'll be meeting in the store at 56 Eagle Street tomorrow afternoon at close to 3 o'clock.
Pretty straightforward, isn't it? But in this situation, note the use of that phrase, let me just note that down in my diary. Saying something like that adds significantly to the feeling of commitment the caller gets from you. And of course, if you were in the situation of applying Performance Standard 7 in the non-face-to-face mode, you'd say something like this.
Good, Paul. Let me just read that credit card number back to you so that we can get things underway. It's 3760-7896-5456-3210.
Like we said, very straightforward, but please don't go using that American Express card number, will you? And then we move to standard number 8. Now, this standard usually only needs to be applied in the situation where you're arranging to get face-to-face with the caller. It seems simple enough, but as we'll discover, it's absolutely critical. Listen in.
Well, fine, Mrs. Johnson. Let me just take a note of that in my diary so that we can confirm that. We'll be meeting in the store at 56 Eagle Street tomorrow afternoon at close to 3 o'clock. By the way, just in case something should crop up, let me just take a note of your phone number. It's...
Now, I want you to notice that particularly. You see, Performance Standard 8 says, ask for the phone number. But you'll have noticed that how you do it is critical. For instance, you might think that saying, can I just take a note of your phone number, is applying Standard 8. The trouble is that you may get a no. It's far better to do it the way you heard just a moment ago and let the caller finish your sentence. Listen in again.
By the way, just in case something should crop up, let me just take a note of your phone number. It's...
Doing it this way means that it's automatic that the caller will respond with the phone number. And that raises an interesting question. Why on earth should we ask for the phone number in that appointment-making situation anyway? Well, the reason is that it adds enormously to the commitment the caller is making. When they give you their phone number, it's now much more certain that they will come into your store, and the caller is now very unlikely to make another call. This commitment, in fact, is so strong that, in many cases, if the caller is running late, they will call you and let you know about it. And of course, if for some reason they don't turn up, you now have their number where you can reach them. So that's Performance Standard number 8. It's sometimes overlooked, but it is so vital. And that leads us to our last 2 standards. Here they come. Performance Standard 9 says, reassure your caller and leave them on a high. To put that another way, what we're saying here is don't just simply say bye and hang up. When you are about to say bye, you should remember that callers get 2 impressions of you. Specifically, they get a first impression and a last impression. It's this last impression that we're working on here. In essence, we want our caller to hang up with a smile, thinking to himself, now, wasn't that a pleasant phone call? And the way to create that favorable last impression is not to simply say bye, but to go that extra inch and say something like this.
I'm looking forward to seeing you, Mrs. Johnson, and discussing that microwave in more detail with you. It's been really nice talking with you. Bye.
You see, that's reassuring to your caller, and it's leaving them on a high. It's creating additional trust, ready for the appointment and ready for the sale. But of course, Standard 9 doesn't just apply when the result of the phone call is an appointment. For instance, in a hotel situation where you've just created a booking, you could apply Standard 9 like this.
Good, Mr. Dunn. We're looking forward to having you as our guest in October. It's been nice talking with you. Bye.
Or in an airline situation,
Thanks for that, Mr. Dunn. Do enjoy your flight with us. It's been great talking with you. Bye.
now sure, it takes a little extra time, just a little, to do this, but it really is worth it in terms of the extra relationships you'll be building with people who call you. It takes a little time, too, to apply our final standard, Performance Standard 10. It reminds us to always hang up last. Now, that's important for several reasons. Firstly, it's common courtesy. The telephone authorities have not yet invented a phone that hangs up quietly. Secondly, the caller may just have something else to say, so don't be in a hurry to hang up. Now, clearly, if you're talking on the phone with someone who's invested in this program, you're now going to be in a difficult situation because neither of you is going to hang up. And when that happens, just suggest something like counting to 3 and hanging up together so that you can both feel good. Seriously, though, do take time not to hang up immediately. It leaves a bad taste with the caller. So, there are all our new standards for you. Let's just review them before we get to look at how they might be applied in so-called difficult situations. It all starts with Performance Standard number 1. Smile to the point of a grin before you pick up your phone. And then Performance Standard number 2 reminds us to take time to get that smile on and to remember that there's someone on the other end of the phone who wants to buy. You'll recall it says, answer the phone on the third ring. Just take that vital 4 or 5 seconds before you pick it up. How you answer is dealt with by Performance Standard 3. You'll recall it's good morning, your company name if you're the first point of call, or an optional departmental name if you're answering a transferred or direct in-dial call, followed by those 2 important words, this is, followed by your first name and then your surname. Performance Standard 4A is about listening attentively, and it goes hand in glove with Performance Standard 4B. Give out positive strokes. Then comes that most important standard, ask questions irrespective to uncover the caller's real needs. There are, you'll recall, 2 versions of Performance Standard 6. In the case where we're creating orders over the phone, we have 6A, give out little bits of information, then 6B, talk in the caller's language so that the ideas come alive in the caller's mind. Then 6C, where you check your caller's temperature, and when it's warm, you move to 6D and ask a detailed question for the order. Of course, in the case where you need to make an appointment, Performance Standard 6 changes to 6A. Give a benefit of getting together. Then you follow that with Standard 6B, build commitment for the appointment. You'll remember those lovely words, that makes sense, doesn't it? And then you apply Performance Standard 6C, set the appointment date, the time and place specifically. Standard 7, confirm the details. Performance Standard 8 is that one about the phone number. You remember, just in case something crops up, I'll just take a note of your phone number. It's... And then Standard 9 reminds us to reassure the caller and leave them on a high. And Performance Standard 10 is where we end the call by hanging up last. Now, when you apply these standards consistently, you'll find it pretty hard not to get more business on your phone. The key is, of course, to be able to develop the skills to the point where they become a habit pattern for you. Here's an example, a seemingly difficult call where the application of the skills makes all the difference.
Good morning, Skillful Real Estate. This is Sally speaking.
Oh, yes. I noticed your ad in this morning's paper for a dream home at Loganville. Could you please give me the address of that property?
Oh, thank you very much for calling. Paul Dunn is actually looking after that particular home. I'll put you through to him now. Could you just hold a moment, please?
Sure.
I hope you got a lot of value today. If you did, click the like button. What that does is help us build our non-profit business school, UBLA. Check out in the description below to find out more about what we're doing and how you can help. This is part of a multi-part series, so keep your eye out for the next video. In the meantime, we've done a great playlist about why do small businesses fail. Check this link over here, and this will show you a great little list about how you can be successful in business. So thank you very much. Catch you again soon.